Good morning, everyone. It's morning, at least for me. It's Sunday morning. My last vlog was on a Tuesday, and I've been through one hell of a ride since that Tuesday. My last vlog was on my drive home from Newton Wellesley after my Lupron. So I had a very tough Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think Thursday. I can't even remember. The past few days have just been a blur. And I actually did a Facebook Live, which I've never done on the invasive ductal Carcinoma-My page on Facebook because I was just feeling absolutely shitty. And a lot of times when I do these vlogs, I do them after the fact of what I'm going through. Well, sometimes. Clearly, sometimes you see me in some very raw states. But I would have to say that Facebook Live was probably the rawest that I think I've been. I was in a really not good place. And I want to talk about that today because I have props. And clearly, I'm in a more zen place today. So I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you get in that mode of whether it's side effects or just frustration from all the health stuff, anything really in general that puts you in a place that you know is not you, and you're just kind of like clawing out of a pit that you just can't get out of, and you feel like crap. On top of all of that, I had my COVID vaccine booster, the bivalent booster, on Friday. And I intentionally planned it the way I did. I figured if I had any effects from the Lupron, I'm like, it'll probably last a day or two. But I wanted to get my COVID vaccine booster during a long weekend. So if I didn't feel well, I'd have a Friday, Saturday, Sunday to recoup. And I didn't do it in October. Oh, because it was right around the time of runway, and I didn't want to mess up runway, and I definitely want to have it done, or I wanted to have it done before the fall or flu season and being around people indoors season kicked in. So I had my COVID booster on Friday, and I was doing fine, and I'm like, yay, finally, because I had COVID. You've heard about that. I had COVID almost 2 years ago now. Before I knew I had cancer. I had cancer when I had COVID. I just didn't know I had cancer. And I can't say that's why I had, I wasn't hospitalized or anything. They were trying not to put people in the hospital. And my breathing and my lungs and stuff are fine now. But I had some people have COVID and they just get little side effects. That wasn't the case for me, but it wasn't to the point that I would need to be in a hospital to help with breathing or anything. And then I had, back then it was like you had one vaccine, then another vaccine, and then you were fully vaxxed, and then they had a booster, and that for me was it was January, and now it's November, so that was my other booster. So I had COVID and then 4 shots, and every time I had my shots, I had a reaction that was almost similar to having COVID. It's just for a shorter amount of time. And the amount of time has been decreasing with each booster. And I thought that maybe somebody would cut me a break this time. And I really wouldn't have side effects. I guess I was trying to be glass half full. And I had the booster in the morning on Friday. And I was fine most of the day. My son came home unexpectedly, and I'm like, oh, he's like, do you want to go out for dinner? I'm like, I might be pushing it. I feel fine now, but I don't want to feel crappy inside of a restaurant. And it's a good thing he came here. We ate dinner together. It was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. It was late, and it was great. And then come 9, the shivering starts. And anyone that's gone through illness treatments gets this. But the shivering started. I was really, really, really cold. I was shaking a lot. You'll see that in the Facebook Live video if you want to switch over to there. I was shaking a lot. And I'm like, well, my sensory stuff ended because of the Lupron. Like the Lupron stuff pretty much went away Thursday-ish? Thursday night, maybe? I didn't have much of a reprieve in between. So when all those symptoms popped up again, I'm like, well, here we go again. My body is just fighting. And I'm glad that it's fighting, but it's exhausting to have to go through that physical body fighting back. So it was getting progressively worse. And my fever, I didn't take my temperature this morning, but my fever is broken. I'm still hot, not hot, flashy hot like my body temperature is off, but my face was just, it was not good. That was Friday night, and then yesterday, so I took my temperature Friday night before bed, and it was 102. And I am the kind of person that my temperature when I go anywhere is always 97.1. It's usually low. So for me to have a fever at all is rare. I really only get fevers when I have the flu, which I've only had a small amount of times. And when I have my COVID stuff, boosters, vaccines, whatever. So I've been on the couch pretty much the past, since Friday night. I've been pretty much on the couch. I've been sleeping more than I've ever slept in chunks. I can't say I've been waking up from hot flashes because the reaction from the COVID booster kind of canceled all that stuff out. And I don't want to go into nitty gritty because I want to focus on what it's like here. But the point was yesterday, I started feeling better at nighttime, and I watched some TV, and I have an apothecary table as my coffee table. And I've always wanted one, and a friend of mine was selling one a few years ago, and it's only a couple $100 because it was used, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and most of my furniture is IKEA, so to have like real furniture, I love that table, and I'm very protective of. That's the only piece where I'm like, use a coaster. Anyway, I was lighting a candle yesterday. It was one of the wax melt things, so it was a tea light. And I wanted to get all in the mood and have things chill around me. And I lit another candle. I found a whole bag of candles I didn't even know that I had. I lit another tea light that was scented. And the one tea light went out underneath the wax melter. And I'm like, oh, I'll just switch out for the other one. And I have pretty good balance. Well, I got rid of the old tea light that was out, and I picked the other tea light up, very small, and gently bring it over and go to put it on, and of course, like that, wax on my table. And I just lost my shit. I lost it. Because in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm going to spill it. And then I'm like, no, I usually think that, and then I don't. But I spilled wax on my beautiful apothecary wooden table that I've always wanted. And that was just like the icing on the cake. I just let it sit there. I knew when it's wet, there's nothing you can really do about it. So I just watched it dry and become like a spot on the table. And it was like, it's just one more thing. And I just had enough. When you're not feeling well and having the Lupron and the booster back to back, I knew it was going to be a tough week because of doing that. And with timing, I kind of had to do that. Because next month I'm getting my permanent teeth put in. So I want to, focus on my gum health more. And resting and healing from that. So I did this intentionally, but my body has been through so much. And when you're going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I feel better this morning. I'm not 100%, but 5 days of like not feeling well and side effects where you're shaking and you're sweating and you're, I had a fever and I wasn't nauseous at all through the whole thing, but it's just, I couldn't, um, it was a lot. And I went to dark places. And that's what I want to like take a look at today with you. So I woke up this morning, it's Sunday morning. I woke up this morning and grabbed my phone, which I know is not the best habit to do. But my friend Christy was doing a meditation on Facebook on her page. I'd share it, but it's not public. She's a friend of mine. And I'm blessed that I'm in a meditation group with her on Saturdays. And I was sad because I couldn't go on Saturday. Oh, on top of all of that, I got a notification on my phone, because that's like a thing with your phone that you can sign up for, that I was exposed to COVID last Friday or Saturday. And I'm like, great, maybe now I have COVID too. So immediately get a test. I test negative. I'll take another test today. I haven't been around anybody since. But I went out for dinner with a friend of mine, and it was at the restaurant, because that was really the only place it was the only place that I had gone on those 2 days during my exposure. But I've been feeling fine all week, except for the side effects. But again, it's just one more thing. And like I said, it brought me down to a very dark place. I try very hard to be optimistic and to be glass half full. And I have been. You've seen me on these vlogs. I have been. And when it's one after the other, after the other, after the other, my body and my head are just exhausted. And it brings me to this place that I don't want to be. So, how to get out of it? This morning, I woke up to Christy doing her meditation. So I stayed in bed, put the phone next to me, and just listened to it. And laid on my back and meditated to her talking. And she was taking sage, and she was, she lit it, and she was like cleansing herself. And I'm like, oh, I have sage. I remembered when I first moved to my apartment, after my divorce, I'm like, I want to sage my apartment, make it all pure and clean. And I had gotten a sage stick, and my friend Bonnie, who is a yoga teacher, she got me this, well, I kind of just showed you, she got me this gorgeous bowl, and she wrote this beautiful like poem thing to say, to like bless my apartment, and she cleansed it like corner to corner. I'm like, I'm going to get that sage stick. Granted, it's like 8 years old, but I'm going to grab the sage stick. And that's what I need. I need to cleanse and renew. That's what I need to do. So I go in my kitchen and I see this bowl. This bowl is always on top of one of my cabinets. So it just kind of like sits there, but I know it's there. And I take it down to get the sage stick. And there's no sage stick. I think in a moment of something, I realized that the sage stick was really old, and I probably threw it out. But it's not there. I can feel around up there, but I'm 90% sure I chucked it. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not sage sticking myself today. And I live in Massachusetts. And Salem, Massachusetts is like the sage stick mecca of the world. Not really, sort of, kind of. My point is that most of my things in that realm of crystals and tarot cards and all that kind of stuff, I've gotten up in Salem. So if I'm up to it, I don't know if I will be, but if I'm up to it, I'm going to go up to Salem today and get a sage stick, another one. There's pretty much one store that I just have a vibe with, and I feel like that's what I need to do. But I'm also not going to push myself, so we'll see how things go. So the point of all these little things is surrounding yourself with what will get you out of the dark places that you get to when things are overwhelming, like what they've been for me the past, 5 days. And when you're in that place, it's just so hard to remember or think about, like, what do you do to get out of that place? And I had friends that texted, asked how I was. Again, I was disappointed that I did that Facebook Live and I saw some people, well, many people watched it. And I'm like, okay, can someone call, please? Because, like, SOS, that's where I was. And I think, I don't know, maybe it freaked people out. I don't know. I mean, one person did call and asked if she wanted to come, if I wanted her to come over. And that's totally what I needed. But it's the social media thing that way is just crazy. And part of it's the pandemic. I mean, at that point, I didn't know that I was exposed to COVID anyway. So maybe it was just as well. I don't know. But, like, I'm not here for followers. That's not why I do these things. I'm not here for numbers. I'm here to, like, help. Because I went on my phone and I was looking for things to help me with all of this stuff. And I'm putting in so many, like, words, search words, keywords to help me get out of this funk, hoping there's somebody else out there doing this for me. And I'm looking, and I can't find what I need. So much with the cancer stuff is about, like, people are all dressed up, but it's like 5 staple questions they ask and stuff, or they're in surgery, or not in surgery, they're like in the hospital after surgery, and everything's like fine, happy cherry, because people are afraid to be vulnerable. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. Clearly, I'm not. And I wish there was some way. Well, I guess this is my way. To encourage people to be more vulnerable, to put stuff out there that will help, because when you're in a place like that and you're just like, I'm toast, and you can't think about the other side, that yes, I will feel better in a couple of days. All you think about is like, I'm sweating, I'm cold, I had food, like I'm here on my own, it's quiet, like I want to just lay in someone's lap and have someone, like, just go like this and tell me it's all gonna be okay. And I'm not going to, like, go into a relationship just to have someone say, it's going to be okay. Like, no. And then make dumb decisions, like watching, like, 5 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, the one where Derek gets shot, and I'm like, that's not helping, so I'm bawling like a baby. No. So this is not about views. This is about, like, help. It's about helping, because, like, I went on YouTube to search for help for me for things that I was going through, and I know from the feedback from those of you that are watching that it is helpful. And if I could just help one person get out of that funk, it would be phenomenal. And if you have, I don't know, if there are other people out there that are sharing this journey, please put links and stuff in the comments, because we need this. A lot of people run because they're afraid. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to be. One of my friends asked me if I wanted soup. She didn't even know about the Lupron. It was just timing. She said she had too much extra soup. It was lobster bisque. And she's like, do you want some on the way home from work? And I'm like, yes, I do. And it was so, like, warm, comfy, cozy when I got it. So you need to find those things that will turn you around. And part of that for me was, like, my nails. She did a really nice job, see? It looks black, but they're not. It's like purplish, bluish, glittery. But I had my nails done, which I think I talked about on something. And she does a nice job shaping, so my hands look normal. And, I'm looking for normalcy because I felt like my body wasn't normal. I have to say, with all the crap going on the past 5 days, I haven't really had, like, those similar pains that I have in my boob. I haven't had those the past 5 days. I have had more sharp pains, but I take it with a grain of salt because, again, the side effects. today, I literally just like rolled out of bed, put my hair in a ponytail, and here I am. But like, I think like weight-wise, I think I look pretty good today. I mean, granted, I'm wearing all black, but like, you know, I don't know, that's not too shabby. So I'm not like body shaming today. I think part of the thing with the clothes is maybe I just need to reconsider like what my clothes look like. Like rounded things. I mean, yes, throughout the day this will shift. So like I have to move it over, and I just have to be patient for January when he fixes my left side so that my clothes stop shifting over. But I had that picture, that thumbnail. You know what? I should change. I should make this my thumbnail. Because I had that picture where like my dress was totally off-centered, but like here's what I look like with like skin and just a tank top on. And I don't know, do I have muscles? Not really. Oh my God, not really. Wow. I used to, that's so crazy. Not that I was some big bodybuilder, but at least when I like flexed, I used to have tone here. There's just like nothing. It's like a small little bump. Wow. It's amazing how much you lose. Okay, positive, positive, positive. So what do I have? I can buy more tank tops like this because they make me feel good. They make me feel good. And I have a table behind my phone that I used to have a fish tank on. I'm not a good pet owner at all. So there's no fish tank there anymore. And since the fish tank has been gone, it's kind of turned into COVID Central, the table. There's masks, there was sanitizer on there. There's KN95 masks, there's regular disposable masks on there. And then there's this bucket. Oh my gosh. The energy needs to change. There's this bucket that says stuff. This bucket needs to go to a different area, this stuff. Because what's in here? I mean, you'll see in here. There's like, here. There's my foam roller that I use for my back. There's tennis balls that I use to roll out from my scapula. There's a happy face sock attached to a pulley that I borrowed from a friend of mine for my shoulder. There's a towel that when you do your up and down hand thingies. There's a pillowcase for my ice pack when I need it. There's stickers that I use for incentive stuff. And there's a day planner from last year. It is November of 2022. I have this planner. That is. Oh. Wait. Okay, so that's not too bad. It's 2021-22. So I thought it was calendar year 2021. I'm like, that would be bad. But I have this planner in here. And, well, this tells you something right here because it's on, ironically, it's on the week of November 8th. But this was November 8th, 2021. Yeah. It even says on here, like, who was bringing dinner on what days. And then you could see my incentive stickers from when I did my exercises, and it says like meditate and then work exercise and then PT exercises. And then lo and behold, the piece de resistance is this, my stretching exercises after breast surgery workbook. With all the exercises that I had to do, and I would put stickers in them when I did them, and some of them I never really got up to because they were just too hard. But this has to go. Not go away, but it needs to not be a focal point over there. I also have a beautiful candle, and I have a mug that says Born to be Queen. Those need to stay. That needs to be my empowerment table. My apartment needs to not be like about all recouping. It needs to be about what is going to empower me and make me happy. I have flowers on my kitchen table. I got them for myself when I went for my COVID vaccine because I'm like, I would like a little special something. So I got those. But I've moved away a lot from meditating in the morning. I don't know why. Shit happens. You go to work, things are busy, you just forget. So I think that me turning this table behind me into like what I'm sitting in right now. You know, I have this blanket, which usually I put on myself. It's super, super soft, but I'm still hot from all the hubbub. I bought 2 of these. They're bolsters. After I went to Canyon Ranch last year, when I came home, I bought 2 of them. One I keep in my car, that way if I want to meditate someplace I can. And then what I keep here, and I keep it by the window that I used to meditate by every morning. But, you know, stuff happens, and I have been moving away from that, and I don't want to. I have my little frog yoga guy here. I have a salt lamp that I got from a friend. You know, I have another one over there because I often tape in front of that. And then there's my crystals. Oh, my biggest one I forgot to bring. I have a big blue one. I don't quite know how I feel about crystals because I don't want to hyper analyze what they all mean and stuff. For me, the crystals are truly like I know they have meaning, but it's more of a sensory thing. Like I have these 3 that I got, a close friend of mine sent them to me. And one of them I know is for healing. One is for calm. And I think one is for cleansing. I do have a rose quartz in here for cleansing. But just the sound and just like rolling them in my hands brings me comfort. And I can't like do this. Oops. I can't do that at work because it's going to make too much noise. But I forget that I have them. And sometimes it's just a matter of like popping them in your pocket. It's funny because one trick of the trade I will share with you, and I don't really want to talk too much about my kids, but my son used to have a hard time with sensory stuff when he was younger. He's got a huge bag of tricks now, so it's not really an issue anymore. But I remember I went to this store and I bought this little mini, because I used to get fidget stuff, and I've been using his old fidget stuff when he was like 3. And this is helpful for any of you out there, by the way, who have kids that have sensory issues. Because, I mean, anyway. So I went to a store and I bought a little mini gorilla and a little mini baby. They were like these little plastic figurines, like very small, that you can pop inside a kid's pocket. And I said, put the gorilla on one side, put the baby on the other. When you're angry, you can go in and like take the gorilla and just like, you know, hold him and pull at him or whatever you want to do. And when you like, you know, or like calm, happy, chill, or just, you know, hug or something, take the baby, you can like pat the baby's head or whatever. So you have like, you know, angry and chill in your pockets. And there's a lot in my apartment to help me for getting me out of angry, but there's not enough in here to help me stay chill. And that's something that I need to change. So the crystals just help me stay chill. I'm not going to show you all of them because for some reason I just feel protective over them. And some I just picked out because I just like what they look like. And I know they have meanings, like I said, but you know, whatever. Yeah. And when I went to go vote last week, I can't remember what, it was election day, what was that, Tuesday? I ran into the minister, well, the prior minister at my church, and which I wouldn't expect to run into him at like a voting place, but he also wrote a book, which has been on my bedside table. I got to page 17. I'm not a big reader, though I feel like I should be. I got to page 17, and then I obviously haven't read since then, and the book is like 500 or 450 pages long. And I feel like after seeing him that like maybe I should go back to the book. It's not like super religious. I go to a Unitarian church. The book is called Huh? But like he's a really good speaker, and I would say unconventional compared to what you think of as a church. I mean, it's a Unitarian church. But, you know, I'm going to be hopping onto Zoom church in a few minutes, so I need to actually finish up. But it's this kind of stuff to come back to that I forget. And I feel like I need to create a space that has these things on it. I don't even know what you would call it, but that has these things on to bring me back that I know I haven't meditated in a bit. Certainly not since Tuesday. I haven't meditated. And just the act of this morning, waking up and listening to Christy and her leading me through this and breathing, I learned how to diaphragmatically breathe years ago. And it's a very hard thing to start to learn, but once you learn it, it's like you can't really unlearn it. That's just the way that you breathe. And I haven't slowed down enough in that way to like take the time to just sit and breathe. Put your hand on your belly and like, you know, breathe in and have your belly stick out as far as you can. And then when you breathe out, you bring your stomach in as far as you can and just breathe out all the bad. Bring in all the light, breathe in all the light, and breathe out all the stuff that you don't want to have inside of you in your space anymore. So that's my helpful tip for today. I'm still not feeling 100%, so I'm not feeling like super super crafty with my ideas, but I have this table and I've moved away from this stuff so much and I don't want to. And it does reset yourself. And that's what her meditation was about this morning. And that's where I needed to be today, which is why I wanted to share with you. It's about resetting, whether that's meditation, whether for you it's going for a run. Like these haven't run in a long time. I didn't run, I don't think, with these. I did by accident once and I was like, oh my God, they're so heavy. But it's about resetting. And when you get in a place like, oh, why me? Why has this happened to me? Why has life been so hard? And all this stuff, like, you know what, it has, for some people, it has been really hard. It has been really hard. And it's okay to cry. But when it's 5 days in a row, it's like, okay, it's time to also bring in peace and ease. And how do I do that? And it's hard to remember in the moment how to do that, which is why setting aside a space for that. Like my SOS table, but SOS is too negative. I don't know, I'll come up with something crafty. But something else that I want to get when I'm in, my birthday's coming up soon. So I think I'm going to buy it for myself as an early birthday present. It's one of those sounding bowls. You know, the kind that you go, and then bing. The sound of that, there is a thing about frequencies. Frequencies work really effectively with me. There are certain frequencies, I actually come across them on TikTok, where they just have some frequency that's going. And different frequencies are for different things. And for me, it's just like a sound to just bring me back to where I want to be. And when I don't want to grab my phone, or I'm in my, you know, in the corner in my couch, like, you know, not knowing what to do and just being sad at the world, and I need like a place to physically go nearby that has all my bag of tricks. You know, all my Jen lift her up and support her bag of tricks. That needs to be that table. So I might get that done today. I might not. I don't know. I have to play it by ear. Because again, like health first and not feeling 100%, I have to take care of myself. I also haven't been outside in like 3 days. And I need to get some fresh air. All right. So that's what I have for you today. So if you have time now, I would strongly suggest taking some time for yourself. And whether that's meditation, whatever it is, but just to sit and to breathe, and you will have your mind shifted in a place that you want to be in a place that you're grateful for the things that you have, like soft blankies and bolsters to help so that your hips are comfortable. Right now, my body does not hurt at all. Right now, I can see like this looks normal, but holy shit, has this part been through trauma? And yes, I might not have this now, look at that, and I'm also going to be going to the hospital 2 or 3 times a week to their gym, working with people there to get my body back in shape, back toned and back strong to get me ready for my next surgery. So I know this won't be like this forever. I will go back to having like kick-ass stuff, but right now is not the time. And to be kind to my shoulder, because this fucking arm, I always have my shots on my left arm, and my left arm has been through a lot. I can actually feel the marks from when I have all these. all these needles in my arm. It's almost like this is like my battle land, like right here between the COVID vaccines and the Lupron. How many times they've jammed needles into this one section of my arm. It makes me feel very, I don't know. I don't have the word. But I can almost like see 14 marks. Plus 4 from COVID. And that's a lot. And I'm here. And I'm going to make myself some fall Starbucks coffee and sit at Zoom church and just listen and sing and breathe. So do what makes you happy today. Do what brings you down to your core self. Find who you are that brings you peace, that makes you feel loved. And know that you're not alone. Even if there's other people on YouTube, like small creators like me. I'm not small, I'm saying like I don't have 15,000 followers, and that's okay. But find what makes you you and what brings you ease and reminds you of how strong you are, but what you really need to help yourself feel calm and at peace. See you next time, everyone. Bye. Namaste.